Xin, are you kidding? Where can I get the 300,000? Lu Fan is about to cry, and there is still a week to hold a wedding. His future father-in-law and mother-in-law have proposed to charge 300,000 more betrothal gifts. He rode a yellow car to his mother-in-law's house, lowered his attitude, and constantly begged. The whole family sat in the living room, as if waiting for Lu Fan to come. Bai Xiaoxin sat in the corner with tears in her eyes and said, Fan, I don't want to be like this, but my younger brother needs the 300,000 yuan as a betrothal gift. He has to get married next month. While Li Xiaoying, her mother-in-law, was gloomy, holding the bank card sent by Lu Fan, and said coldly, Lu Fan, you and Xin have come to this point. Now you only need to take out 300,000. Is your love not worth 300,000? Lu Fan, it's not our family that wants to embarrass you. As you can see, this is the case at home. Xiaofeng's daughter-in-law is short of money. Can only Xiaoxin be happy? His father-in-law, Bai Zhengfeng, also spoke on one side. Lu Fan clenched his teeth, holding a fire in his stomach. But his voice was very low. We had already discussed the 200,000 betrothal gifts, plus 100,000 down payment for the wedding house. For this reason, I have owed too many people, even my mother's pension money. Now I have to take 300,000 to Xiaofeng to pay for the betrothal gifts. Do you want me to rob the bank? There's no need to say that I'm miserable. I'm just such a precious daughter. If I marry you, she'll live with you for the rest of her life. I don't even dislike that your family is from the countryside. What's the matter with more betrothal gifts? No money to borrow. Li Xiaoying said with a sneer. Brother-in-law, just listen to my mother. It's only 300,000. If you do more private work, you'll get the money. Mimi finally agreed to marry me. Please be considerate of me. Bai Xiaofeng, who was playing LOL on one side, finally took the time to insert a sentence. In a twinkling of an eye, he yelled, Grass, give me a mouthful of milk. Lu Fan was furious. If I want to understand you, who will understand me? I deserve to be squeezed. He looked at Bai Xiaoxin. The last hope is still pinned on his girlfriend, who has been in love with him for 4 years. Xiaoxin, we have gone through so much. In the past, no matter what you asked, I would satisfy you. I also agreed to your luxurious wedding. Now, do you really want to force me to take out the 300,000 now? Looking at Lu Fan's fragile eyes, Bai Xiaoxin couldn't bear it and didn't know what to say. Li Xiaoying immediately glared at her daughter. Xiaoxin, you don't want to be a white-eyed wolf. If you marry so casually, you will be happy. What should your brother do? Sister, you love me most, don't you? Just help me. Bai Xiaofeng's coquettish tone makes Lu Fan have the impulse to kick him. Bai Xiaoxin felt soft and nodded to Lu Fan hesitantly. I'm sorry, Lu Fan, I don't want to be like this, but my brother… Well, I see. Lu Fan sighed softly, as if he had made a decision. Li Xiaoying thought that Lu Fan had agreed, and her wrinkled face immediately welcomed him with a smile. Lu Fan, you can figure it out. As long as you are willing to take out the 300,000, my baby daughter will be yours. I will never interfere in your affairs anymore. Bai Zhengshan also showed a smile and nodded with satisfaction. However, the next second, Lu Fan smiles, and his eyes show a firm color. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I can't take out 300,000 yuan. Even if I can, I won't give it to you. Besides, since you regard marriage as a business, I don't want to get married. After that, Lu Fan snatched the bank card from his mother-in-law and sneered at Bai Xiaoxin. You are willing to be the devil of supporting your brother. I don't care if your brother sucks blood. Anyway, labor and capital have had enough of it. Lu Fan's decision made the family fall into a short circuit of thinking, which is totally different from their assumption. Then Li Xiaoying screamed hysterically. Lu Fan, are you crazy? If you dare to step out of this door, you will never want to marry Xiaoxin. Lu Fan, you come back, don't you love me? Bai Xiaoxin gets up, grabs Lu Fan, and refuses to let him go. Her tears are so scared that she takes them back. At this time, Lu Fan took Bai Xiaoxin's hand, gently shook it, and left the door under Bai Xiaoxin's desperate eyes. You'll be sorry, pauper, hillbilly. After that, Li Xiaoying's abuse is automatically filtered by Lu Fan. He walks out of the garden community and walks on the road. But he feels relieved. In the past 4 years, he has paid too much for Bai Xiaoxin, but most of his salary has gone into Bai Xiaofeng's pocket. However, He has become a big wrongdoer. He lives with Huabei overdraft credit card and can't get any money to send home. He had to rent a room, and his mother still lived in the shabby house in the country. This marriage has not been formed, and we still owe hundreds of thousands of foreign debts. How can I explain to my mother? After the wedding, he still has to continue to live. But what Lu Fan sees is only the debt repayment life in the future. Brother, come and lift your feet. The man with the nylon bag didn't know when to squat at Lu Fan's feet, holding the crushed mineral water bottle in one hand. Lu Fan raised his foot, but he didn't look back. He threw it back and asked if it had fallen into the bag. He got up straight and continued to search for the prey, looking at the glowing face of the old man, as if he had found a treasure in his eyes. Lu Fan sighed to himself that the old man, who picked up the garbage, was in such good health. Wait, how do you pick up garbage? How much money can that make? Picking up garbage is impossible in my life. A cold voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Unlimited garbage collection system has been bound. What is it? Lu Fan longed for a moment. Did he get the legendary system? Life take off? But why the garbage collection system? System, what can I do with you? The task of this system is unique. The host will become a garbage collector from today on. By collecting garbage, the garbage items obtained can be exchanged with the system, and the host can get unequal rewards. Specific reward items, the host needs to know personally. Picking up garbage, you'll get a reward. Lu Fan couldn't help looking at the figure of the elder, who was walking farther and farther, and there was a gap between heaven and earth in his heart for a moment. How can a programmer pick up rubbish? What a fuss. No, absolutely not. The system kindly reminds the host to start picking up garbage. Listening to the cordial greetings from the system, Lu Fan laughs. Picking up garbage is a matter of man's dignity. It's absolutely impossible. Think of here, his eyes or inadvertently in front of the trash can swept a glance. There's a lot of rubbish and flies buzzing. He was filled with emotion and strongly resisted. But he always felt that a strange emotion was guiding him to look at the garbage. Passers-by around try to avoid the trash can. Lu Fan cannot imagine. He really bent down to pick up garbage. What kind of people will attract contempt? Lu Fan. Lu Fan is starved to death. Dead outside, jump from upstairs. Also won't pick up a little rubbish here. In the garbage can around half a circle. Lu Fan listened to the system constantly remind themselves to pick up garbage. Lu Fan gritted his teeth. Why don't you try first? He lowered his head and picked up a mineral water bottle like a thief, which suddenly disappeared. Ding! If the host picks up a mineral water bottle, 130 yuan will be awarded. What? 130 yuan? Lu Fanjing is puzzled. Mobile phone message prompt sound. Open a look. The income of your card number 4,567 is 130 yuan, and the balance is 300,130 yuan. God, there's money. Lu Fan took a deep breath with a smile on his face. Picking up trash doesn't make money? Who's going to say that to him again? I'm in a hurry with him. I, Lu Fan, will not pick up any rubbish here, even if I jump from upstairs to die of starvation. How fragrant. In front of him, a middle-aged uncle with sunglasses spat on the ground. There was also a cigarette, but on the ground. Lu Fan and the uncle walked out a few steps. Rubbed a few steps, quickly picked up, put into the pocket. Ding! The host picks up a cigarette, and rewards a box of gold bricks from the Yellow Crane Tower. Holding grass, special reward. Golden brick of Yellow Crane Tower, Rolls Royce, and cigarette. But at this time, the middle-aged uncle seems to have a feeling. Looking back just to see this scene, immediately showed disdain in his eyes. Poor, I can't afford to smoke. As soon as Lu Fan heard this, he was not happy at that time. He took a look at the cigarette in uncle's hand. Union Shangri-La is 45 yuan per bag. He snorted coldly. Who do you look down on? I just can't stand you throwing cigarette butts around. With that, Lu Fan took out a big gold brick of the Yellow Crane Tower from his pocket, ripped open the package, and took out one. The middle-aged uncle didn't care. A poor boy could afford to smoke. But when his eyes came to the box in Lu Fan's hand, he couldn't move it. That's the big gold brick of Yellow Crane Tower. You can't buy one for 30,000 yuan. The middle-aged uncle's lips trembled. He saw this cigarette once in the liquor company. He couldn't afford it without $1 million. Is the boy in front of him a hidden rich man? At the thought of this, his face was uncertain. Lu Fan saw each other shocked, satisfied. put out the remaining half of the cigarette into the garbage can. He leaned over and picked it up again, but the system didn't sound at all. System, why didn't I get a reward this time? Ding. In order to put an end to the opportunism of the host, the items abandoned by the host are not recognized. All right. Lu Fan once again throws away half a cigarette and turns to other places to look for garbage. Shortly after he left, the middle-aged uncle clenched his teeth and put his head in the garbage can. With the perfect experience of picking up garbage and getting rewards, Lu Fan gradually put down his face and began to pick up garbage crazily. Pedestrians on the street often cast eyes of surprise, disdain, but Lu Fan seems not to feel it. Ding. If the host picks up a beer bottle, 300 yuan will be awarded. Ding. If the host picks up a slipper, 200 yuan will be awarded. Ding. If the host picks up an abandoned electronic watch, 1,000 yuan will be awarded. Ding. Lu Fan was very happy. Half of the garden street was cleaned up by him in half an hour. Of course, in order not to attract too much attention, Lu Fan specially prepared a large, black garbage bag to cover up the existence of the system. Ding. If you see a nylon bag, you will be rewarded with a woven bag. It's not money. Lu Fan thought a move. The hands will appear a white woven bag, light, as if nothing. System, is there anything special about this woven bag? The woven bag in the host's hand contains 10 by 10 space, which is the only binding for the host and can't be lost. Good guy, isn't this the storage bag in Xiojin's novel? With this thing, he no longer has to worry about being seen through. Pick him up for the rest of the world. Lu Fan's consciousness moves, takes out the white woven bag, feels the wide space in it, and his heart is extremely comfortable. At this time, not far away, a few bad-looking aunts and uncles came to Lu Fan, carrying several nylon bags in their hands. Lu Fan hard along. This is the encounter pier? Young man, it's not proper for you to do so. With several white hairs on his head, the inlaid gold teeth man said with a taut face. While several aunts were staring at Lu Fan's white woven bag, Lu Fan said innocently, "Young man, what are you pretending to be stupid? I've been picking up rubbish in this area for nearly 10 years. I haven't seen any young people snatching rubbish from me. You are young. You have to fight with us old people. What's wrong? That's right, young man. You don't lack arms or legs. It's very easy to earn some money. Now you can't get along with us. Get out of here." Lu Fan didn't flinch. They didn't look like poor people at all. They probably came out to earn some money. Now he said with a smile, "I'll pick up this garbage bag and go, really?" Gold Teeth Uncle looked at the broken garbage bag in Lu Fan's hand, and he couldn't pick it up much. So he put up his middle finger and said, "Well, only one bag." Lu Fan nodded and continued to dig up the trash can. Ding! The amount of host scavenging reached 50,000, reaching the initial upgrade standard of the system, and the reward doubled. Lu Fan immediately brain buzzing. Reward doubled? He tries to pick up a defective glass, and the system prompts the sound to start. Ding! If the host picks up a defective glass, 5,000 yuan will be awarded. It's more than doubled for such a generous reward. Lu Fan took a look at the remaining half of the street. The trash can suddenly turned into countless zeros on the bank card. On the other side, the inlaid gold tooth was still watching, waiting for Lu Fan to leave. However, half an hour later, the boy has not left. That white woven bag can hold things. This boy is evil. He can't do it. If we let him pick it up like this again, we'll come out in vain today. Let's go. Let's pick it up and let the little guy get out of the way. Get up. Several uncles and aunts can no longer sit. Pick up the garbage bag and start fighting with Lu Fan. Lu Fan Lung Long. This is to rob money with him. Absolutely can't give in. So Lu Fan also speed up. Fingers fly, trash cans, plastic bags, cartons, and even metal into a white woven bag. The speed of the system's prompt sound is overlapped. Lu Fan's brain is buzzing. He doesn't know how much money he has made. Until a moment, the system suddenly stopped for a second. Ding! Host found 200 yuan in cash. Reward 2 million yuan. Go, go. Lu Fan felt as if his heart had missed a second. Dear 2 million. Lu Fan opened his mobile phone and said, "The income of your card number. 4,567 is 2 million yuan. And the balance is 2,800,526 yuan. Ding! The amount of host scavenging reached 1 million. reached the secondary upgrade standard of the system, and the reward doubled. Lu Fan took a deep breath and looked at the tired old man and mother in the opposite eyes. He said, "I'm sorry, old man and mother. We can't let you pick up the garbage." 2 hours later, he swept the whole garden street. The balance exceeded 5 million. Ding! I see a discarded bank card and get a VIP diamond card. The new diamond card is automatically bound with its own identity, and some steps are omitted. Looking at the diamond card balance, that string of zero, Lu Fan, even if physically and mentally tired, but happy. Picking up garbage has become the most sacred profession in his heart at this time. With endless garbage collection, his financial resources will be endless. Carrying a white woven bag, sweating Lu Fan's stomach is also cooing. Passing by a Western restaurant, Lu Fan, who used to live frugally, now has the courage to go in and rub a meal. Stepping into the Western restaurant, before Lu Fan could reach the counter, a waiter blocked him directly at the door. "Hello, this is a high-end Western restaurant. Only guests are allowed to enter." The waiter in front of her is a sharp-chinned woman in her 20s named Zhao Nan. She raises her eyebrows and says hello in her mouth. Her eyes are full of disdain for Lu Fan. When Lu Fan heard this, he regarded himself as a beggar. He said seriously, "I'm here to eat. Why am I not a guest?" The sharp-chinned waiter sneered. "The lowest price of Western food here is 500 yuan. Can you afford it as a garbage collector? Let's go. Don't disturb me. We're doing business. It's up to me whether I can afford to eat or not. You can't care. With your service attitude, I can't see where this Western restaurant is high-end." Lu Fan frowned and said lightly. His voice is not small, and the guests in the hall all look to this side. "Nanjia, let him in. If you let the manager know, you will be miserable," the cashier's younger sister advised. Zhao Nan sneered. "Okay, I'll see how you pay later." Under the strange eyes of the guests, Lu Fan sat down in the corner. "Sir, the cheapest is the D package, 540. The one who serves him is still the waiter named Zhao Nan. She is a beggar. Do you want to eat Western food?" Lu Fan raised her eyebrow and said in a cold voice, "May I have a look at the menu?" Zhao Nampi said with a smile, "Sir, we don't charge on credit. I suggest you choose. Which set is the most expensive?" Lu Fan suddenly interrupted him. Zhao Nan stunned. "Ah," I said, "give me the most expensive set meal." Lu Fan said word by word. The cold air in his eyes made Zhao Nan tremble. "A beggar also want to eat the supreme set meal? If you can afford to eat in public." Zhao Nan finally couldn't help it. He said that it was too cheap for her to serve a beggar. In fact, Lu Fan's strange clothes have attracted people's attention for a long time. Since he wants to eat, you can give it to him. If he doesn't pay at that time, we won't just sit by. A big-bellied man in a suit was laughing. Zhao Nan gets the support of the crowd, stares at Lu Fan, and turns to prepare the supreme meal. It wasn't long before the steak came up with a bottle of 82 Lafite. "Sir, a total of 78,999. Are you in cash or by credit card?" Zhao Nan looks at Lu Fan with proud eyes and sneers, waiting for Lu Fan to make a fool of himself. Swipe card, no password, another bottle of Lafite. Lu Fan took out his bank card and slapped it on the table. Zhao Nan picked up the card and did not look at it. He still sneered. "Don't scare people with a broken card. What are you going to do? I'll see how you can blow it later." Then he took the card and went to the cashier. "Xiaoming, see if there is any money in this card." Zhao Nan hands the card to the cashier Xiaoming. "Nan, Sister Nan, this is a diamond card." Xiaoming is surprised. She won't admit it. Zhao Nan thought he had heard wrong. "What did you say?" Then he grabbed the card and looked at it. Suddenly, the whole person was stunned. "Diamond card, it's true. You can't do it without millions. But he is a garbage collector." She turned and looked at Lu Fan. Her eyes suddenly became complicated, and her eyes showed shock and confusion. She hurried over, hands respectfully handed the card to Lu Fan. "Here you are, sir. Your card." Zhao Nan lowered his head and said softly. Lu Fan ignored her and ate the steak seriously. Zhao Nan's face was red. She felt the strange eyes around her and the irony in Lu Fan's eyes. It made her look down. "Yes, I'm sorry. I made a mistake just now." Lu Fan cold hum away. "How? Forget just what you said." Zhao Nan's face turned red, and then he looked at the people who had just supported him. They had already turned around as if they didn't see him. Don't go too far, sir. I've already apologized. Zhao Nan faltered and said, let her eat Xiang in public. Absolutely impossible. Too much. Since I came in, you looked down on me. All kinds of scorn and ridicule. How? As soon as I saw that I had money, I immediately changed my face. The dog's eyes are low. Lu Fan wiped his mouth and stood up to stare at Zhao Nan. Just then, Zhao Nan, what's the matter? A woman in a long black dress came over. She looked younger than the waiter, wore light makeup, and looked cold, but she had an amazing beauty. Manager Ming He. The waiter Zhao Nan looked at the woman in awe, pointed to Lu Fan, and said it with hesitation. She took a cold look at Zhao Nan and said, I've said many times that it's our God who comes here. Don't judge people by their appearance. Zhao Nan nodded in fear, but there was a trace of resentment towards Lu Fan in his eyes. Lu Fan's attitude to this woman is very surprised. Looked at her job number. It turned out that her name is Mingxinyu. I'm sorry, sir. It's my dereliction of duty that makes you have a bad experience. Well, this meal is free of charge, and in addition. Mingxinyu looked at Zhao Nan and said in a cold voice, from now on, you are fired. Zhao Nan was surprised and wanted to plead for mercy, but he knew that Mingxinyu's vigorous and resolute means, so he could only leave in frustration. This is our VIP gold card for you. You can enjoy 50% discount. I apologize again for what happened just now. Mingxinyu handed out a gold card and said with a smile. Lu Fan picked it up impolitely, shook his head and said, you're welcome, Manager Ming. You don't have to do it alone. After all, this steak is really delicious. In the face of beauty, his heart is really hard. Mingxinyu was relieved and looked at Lu Fan carrying the woven bag, but she felt a little more curious. She recognized the diamond card in Lu Fan's hand just now. Without millions of deposit, she could not handle this kind of card. Immediately shaking his head, this must be a rich second generation out to experience life. Lu Fan deliberately changed the street. After picking it up in the hot sun for less than an hour, Lu Fan became dizzy. This is too much of Raffi's stamina. Looking at the 7 zeros in the balance of the card, Lu Fanji is very proud and takes a taxi home to have a rest. It's time to buy a car. You have to spend money. Lu Fan's way of thinking. Back to the one-bedroom house he rented, he was stopped by the landlord Hu Jiaojiao before he stepped into the door. Lu Fan, I haven't paid the rent for 2 months. If you don't pay the rent again, you'll sleep in the street for me today. Hu Jiaojiao is in her 30s. She wears pink pajamas all day. She is very attractive, but she has a domineering attitude. Many male residents are angry with her. At the beginning, Lu Fan moved in because the house only paid 800 rent a month, but every time Hu Jiaojiao would try her best to deduct more money. Lu Fan took out his mobile phone and decisively transferred 1,600 yuan to Hu Jiaojiao. That's not enough. 2,000 more. Hu Jiaojiao holds her arms and shows her white arms. She looks at WeChat and shakes her head. Lu Fan suddenly cold-faced to say, we're come of 2,000. Hu Jiaojiao. You don't push an inch. You can't afford to pay for water and electricity, sanitation, and cleaning for 2 months. You have the ability to move out. Hu Jiaojiao said coldly, her eyes full of disdain for Lu Fan. Lu Fan looked back at the dark house and the leaking corner, and he was bored. Hu Jiaojiao, do you think I can only live in your poor house? I don't want to live long ago, he said, dialing his mobile phone. Hello, Ms. He, I'm going to buy the 5 million house in full. That's right. Yes, you keep it for me. We'll sign the agreement next Monday. Great, Mr. Lu. I'll be waiting for you. When Hu Jiaojiao heard the speech, her face changed greatly. She glanced at the remarks of Lu Fan's mobile phone and saw that it was a real estate sales lady's phone. Oh, just a wholesale phone number. Who are you fooling? Hu Jiaojiao snorted coldly and looked down upon Lu Fan even more. Lu Fan took out the diamond card, threw it in front of Hu Jiaojiao and asked, do you think I can't afford it? Hu Jiaojiao was slightly surprised and looked at it carefully. It was a real diamond card. Originally a pair of cold face, suddenly smile become by Yen Kai. Arm rub Lu Fan, a light fragrance into his nose. Lu Fan, in fact, I was just talking nonsense. You have a lot of money. Don't worry about it with me. If you live in this house, you'll be my sister and say nothing. Seeing that half of Hu Jiaojiao's body had to come over, Lu Fan couldn't stand Hu Jiaojiao's strength. He put away the card and turned over to avoid Hu Jiaojiao. No, I'll move next week. I'll sleep first when I'm sleepy. Then he closed the door and stopped Hu Jiaojiao, who was just about to stretch her foot to mix the door. Hu Jiaojiao stamped her foot and said, "Dead Lu Fan, if you are so rich, you still pretend to be poor. If you are in arrears with the rent, what are you playing as a pig and eating a tiger?" With that, he left angrily. Inside, Lu Fan was about to wash when his mobile phone rang. It was his mother's phone. "Fan Fan, Xiaoxin said you couldn't get through. What's the matter? Did you quarrel with Xiaoxin?" Lu Fan looked at his mobile phone and found that there were more than 20 missed calls, all from by Xiaoxin. "Mom, listen to me. Lu Fan will be his experience in the White House of a full-out." Lu's mother heard, fell into a period of silence. "Mom, Fan Fan, my mother supports you. Since people look down on us, we are not high. Otherwise you will not be happy when you marry. It's just Fan Fan. Don't let it get you down." Mom, I know. Don't worry. Your son won't be single all the time." After the call, Lu Fan blacked out all the contact information of Bai Xiaoxin, including their family. Now that he has retired from marriage, he has been a two-way man since then. There is no need for any more communication. When he bought the house, he must take over his mother and let her enjoy her happiness. The next day, Lu Fan woke up with a smile in his dreams. Undoubtedly, he dreamed of becoming a millionaire. Wear casual clothes, carry the woven bag, and look at yourself in the mirror. Lu Fan sadly found that his identity of dressing up and picking up garbage was too disobedient, and then changed into a set of old clothes. If you want to be a billionaire, start by picking up trash. "Good morning, Lu Fan. Go to work?" "Xiao Lu, you have a good spirit. Come and push me." "Hey, brother Lu, get up so early. Come to the fried dough sticks." Lu Fan got up so early that he passed by the garden and the stall. His acquaintances warmly welcomed him, but he was hesitant. "Sure enough, I can't save face in front of acquaintances. I have to practice my face." "Lao Chun, a bowl of bean curd and 2 fried dough sticks." Lu Fan finished his breakfast in a hurry, then got up and trotted out to the outside of the community. On Furong Street, Lu Fan took a deep breath, carried the white woven bag on his shoulder, and began to turn it over from the first garbage can. Ding! If the host finds a smelly sock, 5,000 yuan will be awarded. Ding! If the host finds a bag of moldy millet, 3,000 yuan will be awarded. Ding! The host picked up a functional drink and rewarded a bottle of physical recovery medicine. Lu Fan's face was stunned, his mind moved, and a bottle of blue drink appeared in his hand. After a sip, he felt fresh and relaxed, and all his fatigue disappeared. He's increasingly looking forward to special rewards from the system. If he continues to clean up the garbage and double the reward, if he works harder, it will not be a problem to make 10 million yuan a day. Your card number income with tail number 4567. The balance is 14,035,000 yuan. Looking at the soaring income, Lu Fan's heart is sweeter than honey. At the Mercedes-Benz 4S store on Furong Street, a man in a suit stood by the side of the road drinking Coke and smoking. When Lu Fan saw it, he rushed forward and stared at the Coke bottle in the man's hand. "What's the matter? Why, Lu Fan?" After the man sees Lu Fan, suddenly Lung. Lu Fan was surprised, looked at each other for a long time, then suddenly realized that this is not his junior high school classmate Hishu. "Hishu, long time no see. Do you work here?" Lu Fan looked at Hishu's clothes and guessed. Hishu nodded his head blandly. No matter how deep the friendship is, it will fade. "Lu Fan, where are you now? I've heard that you went to a famous university. I'm afraid you are now developed." Hishu suddenly brightened his eyes and said, "How about buying a car?" Lu Fan said that he really should find a tool to take the place of others. He can't always ride a yellow car. "Well, what, Hishu?" Before Hishu could be happy, he saw Lu Fan staring at his Coke. "What?" Hishu doesn't know why. Lu Fan said with a smile, "Can you give me a bottle when you finish drinking Coke?" Hishu, a little confused, handed the Coke bottle to Lu Fan. Lu Fan took it, skillfully threw it back, and fell into the woven bag. "Lu Fan, who are you?" "Oh, I'm just idle picking up garbage, taking care of the environment, and using resources." Hishu smell speech. See, Lu Fan's eyes suddenly changed. What special care for the environment? Is not a garbage collector. Did not expect Lu Fan will mix to this point. Oh, you're busy. I'll go first. He didn't want to talk with Lu Fan for a second. He turned around and was about to leave, but he was stopped by Lu Fan. Don't go. I just said I wanted to buy a car. Old classmate, go and recommend one to me. Lu Fan said and went to the Mercedes-Benz 4S store. His brows wrinkled. He felt that this guy's face was too thick. A garbage collector wanted to buy a Mercedes-Benz? With a black face, he followed Lu Fan in. Brother Tree, which god is this? The staff in the shop saw Lu Fan and naturally saw the garbage bag on Lu Fan's shoulder. They asked curiously. His said with a sneer, "It's not a big god. Let me introduce it to you. This is my junior high school classmate, Lu Fan. But I didn't have any friendship before. Now people make a living by picking up garbage and want to buy a Mercedes-Benz." As soon as he said this, he burst into laughter in the shop. Brother Tree, haha, what do you say? Garbage collectors also buy Mercedes-Benz. I'm so happy. Everyone dares to enter the Mercedes-Benz store these days. Garbage collector, do you know that our cheapest cars cost more than 300,000 yuan? You can't buy them all your life. Maybe it's all money in people's garbage bags. The sound of ridicule was harsh. And His looked on coldly. Lu Fan's eyes were cold. Looking at the people's eyes that treat him like a monkey. He said in a cold voice, "Shut up to the labor and capital. Do you still look down on the garbage collectors? His, which is your most expensive sports car?" I'll go, Lu Fan. You're not. I'll take you in to have a look. You're still on your nose. You're the most expensive sports car. Can you afford it? His face was unhappy, and his eyes were full of disdain. How much is it? Lu Fan asked. His. Lu Fan, I advise you to leave immediately. Labor and capital have no time to play with you. The most expensive sports car, the Maybach S800. Do you know how much it costs? 5.8 million. Pa. Lu Fan threw out his bank card and threw it on His face. Full payment for labor and capital. His gang was about to attack. But seeing Lu Fan's determined face, he said with a ferocious look, "Okay, Lu Fan, wait. If you cheat me, don't think of this door today." Everyone was laughing, waiting to see the play, but at this time, His face suddenly changed. His eyes fell on the card in his hand, and his heart vibrated. This is a diamond card? Shuko murmurs that the people around him are not smiling. They work in Mercedes-Benz 4S stores all the year round. Naturally, they recognize the difference of bank cards. At this time, a middle-aged bald man came over in a hurry. He snatched the card from His hand, glared at His and walked respectfully to Lu Fan. "I'm really sorry. Mr. Lu, my name is Dong. I'm the manager of this store. I just know what happened. I'm very sorry for the bad experience. I'm really very sorry." Lu Fan sneered, but he knew that the store manager came so timely that he might have paid attention to it. If apology is useful, can I ridicule you and threaten you? Lu Fan didn't buy it at all. I don't want to come here because no one introduced the car or even poured a glass of water. That's the service attitude of your store? Mr. Dong bowed and apologized again and again, then said firmly, "Mr. Lu, don't worry. I will give you a satisfactory explanation." He turned to His and said, "His, you won't have to go to work tomorrow. Go to the financial department to settle your salary and leave." "Manager, I don't know." Ming lost his job. He just came in because of his relationship. He quickly asked for help from Lu Fan and said, "Lu Fan, we are old classmates. In the past, you can speak for me. I'm sorry, but you just said that I don't have much friendship with you." Lu Fan said coldly and asked Manager Dong, "Manager, how about showing me the car now?" Manager Dong showed a smile and nodded. "Mr. Lu, this way, please." His looked at the back of the two people, and his heart was dead. He can't imagine that a garbage collector will have millions of assets. Lu Fan finally took a fancy to the Mercedes-Benz Maybach S800 and bought it all on the spot. Manager Dong was so happy that he went through all the formalities. "When can I pick up the car?" Lu Fan asked. Manager Dong, "The fastest way is 3 days. I will deliver the car to Mr. Lu in person." Lu Fan nodded, said thank you, then carried the woven bag and left. Under the eye of Manager Dong and all the staff, "You, one by one, wipe my eyes." Dong manager hate iron not steel said. After coming out of the 4S store, Lu Fan took a deep breath and felt that he was really coming out. None of this is a dream. In the future, we will never have to go to work for others, and be exploited by others. This is the life we yearn for. At this time, the mobile phone suddenly rang. Hey, Lu Fan, where are you dead? You're half an hour late. There's something wrong with the company's app again. Hurry back. It's Lei Jun, his immediate superior, who will squeeze Lu Fan's surplus labor value at ordinary times with a bad attitude. But Lu Fan was not angry this time. Angry. That is the performance of the incompetent. Now pick up rubbish minute to enter into account 10,000. Fool, just one programmer. He didn't want to do it for a long time. When I came to the company by bus, the familiar depressive atmosphere came to my face, and my colleagues looked like dirt, one by one typing on the computer, walking into General Manager Lei's office. You can see a bright bald head. Lu Fan, do you think it's great to get married? You can be half an hour late. Are you brave enough? Lei Jun's face is full of anger. Seeing Lu Fan coming in lazily, he is not angry. Boss, Before Lu Fan finished speaking, he was interrupted by Lei Jun. This month, all work is gone. In addition, new projects are almost online, and there are always problems. Don't want the bonus this month. Deal with the bug immediately. If you can't deal with it today, you'll make a shop in the company. Then he waved to Lu Fan to go out. However, after 5 seconds, Lu Fan still did not leave. What else? Lei Jun said impatiently. Lu Fan looked at the ugly face. Half of the company's nostalgia was gone. Nothing, Lei Jun. I just want to let you know that from today on, labor and capital will not work. For the first time in 4 years, he slapped the table with cold eyes. Lei Jun was stunned at first, but he looked at Lu Fan with a sneer and said, Lu Fan, it seems that you haven't woken up today. You call me by name. Don't forget that in order to prepare for the wedding, you paid 3 months' salary in advance. At the beginning, you begged me in a low voice. Why forget? Also, without a company, can you be who you are today? Don't be ungrateful. Lu Fan was too familiar with Lei Jun's combination of grace and power. He sneered. Lei Jun, don't mention ingratitude to me. When did you make your promise to me? At the end of every year, I promise to get a raise and reduce overtime. After 4 years, which one has been done? According to the year-end bonus, the per capita bonus is 10,000. You can give us 10,000 points for each of us. You can guarantee that we can work 8 hours a day, because I work overtime. I will be hospitalized no less than 5 times. So I will be deducted from full attendance that go to your special full attendance. Lu Fan's voice is not big, but still attracted the company's employees. Liu, Lu Fan's brother, put his ear to the window, clenched his fist, and exclaimed, Brother Fan is powerful. Another female colleague shook her head and sighed. Brother Fan is too impulsive. If you can't get along with anyone, don't get along with Qian too. In the office, Lei Jun's face was as heavy as water, and his glasses were full of venom. He laughed angrily and clapped his hands and said, Well done, Lu Fan. Since our company can't keep you, please return 50,000 yuan to the financial department immediately, and then pack up and get out of the company. Lu Fan gave him a cold look, turned and left. Lu Fan, believe it or not, as long as I say, the whole industry can block you. You will not find any job. Lei Jun said reluctantly. Dead bald man. Threaten me again. Labor and capital will kill you. Lu Fan turns his head and sneers. Lei Jun finds himself trembling in his heart. Lu Fan out of the office, and colleagues look at a smile. Said with a smile, Ladies and gentlemen, I Lu Fan first step. At present, these friends have worked with him for many years and have deep feelings. After all, most of the programmers are men. Apart from working hard, there are not so many intrigues. When Lu Fan got married, he didn't say much about it. These friends lent him tens of thousands of money, only to collect 200,000 gift money. You saw that Lu Fan didn't look sad at all. As an iron brother for many years, he knew that Lu Fan was not so impulsive at ordinary times. He came forward and said, Brother Fan, you never fight unprepared battles. You say, if you find a good job, take your brother with you. Well, I've got a good job, but I'm afraid you won't do it. Lu Fan said mysteriously, swinging his right hand back. A gorgeous woven bag appeared. Bend down and throw the plastic bottles and waste paper in the trash can into the woven bag. Van Gogh, what do you mean? Liu opened his mouth wider and felt that he had been shocked by 10,000 points. Lu Fan threw bangs, calm way. Yes, is to pick up garbage. Lu Fan saw Operation shocked all colleagues. Picking up garbage? Is it a normal person's job to pick up rubbish with a monthly salary of nearly 10,000 yuan? Brother Fan, are you stimulated by something? What's your grievance? I said to my brother, don't embarrass yourself so much. Li Yu's mouth swelled fast and swallowed an egg. That's right. Brother Fan, you can't live with anyone. You can't live with Lei. We can't do without you. Van Gogh, do you really think about it? Brother Fan, do you know what your sister-in-law is doing? People are full of gossip, but they are all concerned about Lu Fan. Lu Fan sighed that many of these brothers were brought out by him. Now it's really hard to leave. Picking up garbage, Lu Fan, have you been kicked in the head by a donkey? At this time, a harsh voice suddenly sounded. It's the product manager, Wang Ming. Wang Ming came over. His eyes were full of scorn. Wang Ming and Lu Fan often quarreled about business affairs, and their relationship was very bad. How could he miss such an opportunity to ridicule Lu Fan? He is Lei Jun's nephew. He comes in purely by his relationship. Relying on this, he is always domineering in the company. Which trash was talking to me just now? Lu Fan said with a cold smile. Wang Ming was rebuffed by Lu Fan and said with a smile, who is rubbish in the end? You know that a poor man has to borrow money from others even for his wedding. He looked around and said, how dare you lend him money? Now that he's picking up rubbish, is he really sorry? Ha ha, he can have snacks in the future. Wang Ming, leave some virtue in your mouth. Li Yu couldn't see it anymore. He retorted, money is given voluntarily. Wang Ming immediately stared. Li Yu, I'm talking to Lu Fan. What are you doing? Don't you want to do it? Li Yu can't bear to stand up for Lu Fan, but he is stopped by Lu Fan. Brother, don't be angry with villains. It's not worth it. Lu Fan shook his head. Wang Ming cut. Eyes showing a bit of strange color. Said he took off his shoes, kicked to Lu Fan, motioned. Come, Lu Fan, you are not picking up garbage. This pair of kangaroo shoes, you have the ability to pick up. Are you sure? Lu Fan doubts away. Wang Ming barefoot nodded. The corner of the mouth extremely mocks. Unexpectedly, Lu Fan had no scruples and bent down to throw the new kangaroo shoes directly into the woven bag. Ding! The host picked up a pair of kangaroo shoes and rewarded a pair of shinshing boots. Lu Fan's heart is full of joy. He can walk in the boots. It's very good to listen to them. System, what's special about shinshing boots? Ding! Shinshing boots can increase the speed of Lu Fan by 5 times and increase the strength of his legs by 3 times. Lu Fan's mind suddenly appeared his own picture of Flash. Thank you, Wang Ming. You are such a good man. Wang Ming was really confused at this time. He just wanted to take off his shoes to humiliate Lu Fan. Unexpectedly, Lu Fan picked them up. The shoes cost 1,200 yuan, but he didn't wear them for several days. But in full view of the public, Wang Ming's heart is to hold back, only biting his teeth hard sneer. Well, Lu Fan, I didn't expect you really have seed. Would rather be a beggar. Ha ha ha. You poor then. This life is doomed to be a poor man. No wonder your fiancée to dump you. Lu Fan frowned and said in a cold voice, what do you mean? Don't you understand? Yesterday afternoon, Bai Xiaoxing came to the company to see you and told you everything. You can't even get a 300,000 bride price. It's not poverty. They finally dumped you. Wang Mengji's arrogant and defiant attitude made the colleagues around him dare to be angry. In fact, Bai Xiaoxing came to see Lu Fan yesterday afternoon. They all saw it, but they didn't know why. Lu Fan's eyes are gloomy. He didn't expect that Bai Xiaoxing would come to the company to tell Wang Ming. As soon as Wang Ming's words came out, all the colleagues around him became restless. Brother Fan, is what he said true? You and your sister-in-law really? Li Yu looks at Lu Fan in surprise. Lu Fan looked at Li Yu, then looked at the crowd, nodded and said, yes. The affair between Bai Xiaoxing and me has really blown up. But it's not that she dumped me, but that the labor and capital don't want her. The crowd was silent. Although Lu Fan said that, he couldn't think about it in the hearts of the people. Everyone knows about Lu Fan's family background. In fact, 300,000 weddings are not expensive in the city. But for Lu Fan, it doesn't matter, Brother Fan. We are promising young people. We are not afraid that we can't find our daughter-in-law. Li Yu sighed in his heart, but he still wanted to find some face for his brother. Li Yu, You flatter him too much. Even those who have picked up my shoes want to find their wives in you. This time, all the money is gone. When people heard the words, they dared to be angry. But some people also showed regret. I wouldn't have borrowed it if I knew. Someone whispered. Lu Fan sniffed at the speech, but said with a sneer, Wang Ming. The dog's eye looks down on people. It's you, Liu. Come here. Liu came over with a simple face. Tell me the bank card number. 6339. No, Van Gogh, what are you going to do? Liu looks confused. 3 seconds later, Liu looked at the 100000 yuan in his mobile phone information and couldn't help swallowing. Lu Fan patted him on the shoulder and said with a smile, This million yuan is divided equally among the brothers. If you don't let everyone drink the wedding wine, this money will be regarded as an apology. Liu's hands shaking. Brother Fan, where did you get 1 million? Hearing the words, they were all stunned. Next second, they came to Liu and looked at the balance. 1 million. Make amends, Brother Fan. You are too big. Darling, it's 1 million. Brother Fan, your gift is too expensive. Give it all to us. I'm not dreaming. Lu Fan said with a smile. It's all my brother's. Take it. Liu, I'll give you another 50,000 yuan to help me pay back the finance. Liu immediately relaxed, looked serious and said, Follow elder brother's order. You boy. Lu Fan is speechless. Wang Ming almost suspected that he was blind. 1 million. That's 1 million. He can't believe that Lu Fan, who is usually poor, can come up with so much money all at once. Looking at Lu Fan's casually giving away 1 million yuan, he was envious, but he didn't want to give in like this. Lu Fan, what are you pretending to be? Are you breaking the jar and taking the betrothal gifts to make up for it? Oh, before Wang Ming finished, Lu Fan took a lunge and hit him in the abdomen. Wang Ming almost vomited out the meal the next night. You dare to beat me, believe it or not. Let Mr. Lei. Wang Ming covered his stomach and lost his temper. I hit you. Who saw it? Did anyone see it? Lu Fan said with a smile, his eyes cold. Liu immediately shook his head. I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. Well, I didn't finish my work yesterday. Lu Fan said in a cold voice. Fool, I'm not a member of this company now. If you force me again, it won't be a matter of one blow. Lu Fan's instant eyes make Wang Ming flustered. When he comes back, Lu Fan has left. Out of the company, Lu Fan has a sense of liberation. Carrying the baby woven bag, Lu Fan continued to sweep the garbage. There is no debris on the clean road, not even a garbage bag. In the past, the scene was comfortable. But today it seems that Lu Fan is speechless. Awesome aunt. Lu Fan is walking around in the sun. He believes that picking up garbage needs a pair of eyes to find garbage. There's a kid in front of us who's coming to deliver the business. In front of a square, an 8 or 9-year-old boy was playing with a car model. When he accidentally fell to the ground, the exquisite model was suddenly broken. Wow! The little boy suddenly cried. Sad is not his broken knee, but for his beloved model feels sad. Little brother, get up quickly. Does it hurt? Lu Fan helped the little boy up. The little boy picked up his broken car model and rubbed his eyes. Lu Fan sighed, took out 100 yuan in cash, and said, Little brother, you see your model is broken too. My uncle bought it with 100 yuan. How about buying a new one with the money? The little boy was stunned and asked suspiciously, Really? Of course, uncle can't cheat people. If you don't change it, that's all. Lu Fan plays hard to get, but the boy is not stupid. He grabs the car immediately, hands it to Lu Fan, turns around, and runs away. Ding! The host picked up a used car model and rewarded Ferrari LaFerrari with one. Ferrari LaFerrari? Lu Fan blinked and doubted that he had heard wrong. In addition to the woven bag, he gave a special reward, and it was a Ferrari. His consciousness felt the woven bag for a while, and there was a white sports car, which occupied almost half of the space. But what brand is Ferrari LaFerrari? Lu Fan took out his mobile phone to check, and immediately took a breath. It's a sports car worth more than 20 million yuan. Tread on air. He's so awesome. Now he has 2 sports cars, Ferrari and Mercedes-Benz. It's cool to change his mood. Lu Fan, restrained by his excitement, ran to a deserted alley. His idea moved, and Ferrari appeared. Under the warm sun, if the car body is plated with a light halo. Sexy, elegant lines, eternal beauty. Lu Fan sat up, luxurious interior. Cutting-edge technology, soft, and comfortable experience. In the co-driver's seat, there are all the necessary documents for car purchase, such as car purchase contract, ICBC verification, and mobile license. Tut-tut, the system is so thoughtful, love. Without these documents, Lu Fan did not dare to open them. First experience driving Ferrari Le Fur, driving in Furong Street. The beautiful roar and handy sense of control. 2 words, comfortable. A Ferrari Le Fur suddenly appeared in Linhai City. Like a small beast, suddenly caught the eye of passers-by. What a beautiful Ferrari. Which rich second generation is going to drive fast? See clearly, that's Ferrari Le Fur, which the rich second generation can't afford. Someone recognized the goods, and his tone was full of envy. They had no idea that the one sitting in the Ferrari would be a garbage collector. After dazzling in the street for a while, Lu Fan was satisfied. Picking up garbage did not affect him to drive a Ferrari with one hand. And now the power to pick up garbage is more sufficient. Lu Fan drove to another street with a lot of people. In order not to cause a sensation, he stopped Ferrari on the side of the road. When people didn't pay attention to it and began to, I'll be the environmental protection ambassador for the hygiene of this street. Lu Fan, with a smile, started his own performance development. Ding! If the host finds half a broken sheepskin coat, 300,000 yuan will be awarded. Ding! When the host sees a milk box, reward 3 boxes of Manga yogurt. Ding! I found. But Manga yogurt is of little value to him. Lu Fan takes a sip of the medicine to recover his physical strength, and his spirit rises again. But at the same time, it also attracted the strange eyes of many passers-by. Young man, I came out to pick up rubbish. I admire your courage, man. A couple of young lovers stop by the garbage can. A young man with yellow hair is holding a cigarette in his mouth. He looks at Lu Fan, who is trying to search for his prey, with a smile. And the woman beside him is carrying LV bags, covering his nose, a face of distaste away. I said, man, you are in good shape. My company still lacks a guard to watch the gate. Do you want to come or not? You must earn more money than picking up garbage. Young people seem to be very idle. Lu Fan understands that people who feel a little superior in money are able to draw a cut above others' lives. Let's go. Stay away from people's home. Don't delay them in picking up garbage. The woman said, full of disgust. Lu Fan suddenly raised his head and asked, brother, are you still smoking? The yellow-haired young man was stunned, holding half a Chinese cigarette, and said in dismay, why do you want it? Here you are. Here you are. Lu Fan took it with a smile, extinguished the spark, and threw it into the textile bag. See, this is dedication, not let go of an inch. Really, our company really needs a brother like you. The young man took another cigarette and praised it. At this time, a motorcycle roared by. Huang Mao's girlfriend suddenly yelled, my bag. Huang Mao and Lu Fanqi saw that there were 2 helmeted people on the motorcycle galloping along the road, and the LV bag in the woman's hand was robbed by them. Huang Mao's mouth, shit. Call the police. Suddenly Lu Fan around him like a leopard ran out. The smoke in Huang Mao's mouth were blown away by the wind. On the motorcycle, 2 middle-aged men successfully snatched the valuable bag. Before they could be happy, the man sitting in the back felt someone patting him on the back. Uncle, give me the bag. The man watched in horror as a young man drove a motorcycle with 3 gears on his legs. He was stunned for a while. Second, who is it? When the driver heard a sound behind him, he turned his head and looked at it. He was so scared that the handlebar didn't control it. He crashed into a roadside stall. Man, your bag. Lu Fanmu sent the police to send the 2 robbers away and handed the LV bag to Huang Mao. And Huang Mao's girlfriend was full of guilt and said thank you. Brother, you've practiced lightness skill in your ancestors. It's more powerful than Scud. Huang Mao is still immersed in Lu Fangong's speed. Lu Fan shook his head. We have good legs. When I was a child, I chased the train. Huang Mao Lung Long, unexpectedly still believe. Want to let Lu Fan when the company's security mind more firm. Brother, you should have great ambition. Why don't you really consider coming to our company? I'll give you 5,000 yuan a month. How about food and shelter? No, we don't need money. We just love to pick up rubbish and protect the environment. Lu Fan raised the woven bag and almost threw it on Huang Mao's face. Looking at Lu Fan, cat waste began to pick up garbage. Huang Mao secretly sighed. Give you a chance. Don't know should say you stupid or stupid. Looking back at her girlfriend, she found that she had disappeared. When she looked around, she took a picture next to a platinum Ferrari. Husband, come on, there's a luxury car. Lu Fan is busy picking up garbage, naturally did not hear. At this time, a 40-year-old uncle in a suit and leather shoes came panting and grabbed Lu Fan's hand to thank him again and again. Little brother, thank you so much. My laptop was robbed by those two guys. If it wasn't for you, today's 30 million business would be yellow. Lu Fan repeatedly waved his hand and said with a smile, it's bound in duty to do what's righteous. Sure enough, he is a good young man in the society. This is my business card. If you have any difficulties, please contact me. Uncle handed out his business card and left in a hurry. Lu Fan took a look at the business card. It seemed that it belonged to a real estate company. He didn't care much, so he put it away. Hello, beauty. Do you want a drink bottle? Lu Fan continued to be busy. In front of her was a young mother with a little girl in her right hand and a Coke bottle in her left hand. Hearing Lu Fan's words, the young mother turned around Lu Fan with a long face. Lu Fan is not angry. This kind of thing is very normal. Mom, you see, that big brother came out so early to pick up rubbish. Is it very profitable to pick up rubbish? Xiaoxin, what are you talking about? Picking up garbage is the work of worthless people. These people are lazy and delicious. And they are not clean, so we must not learn from them. Studying hard is the right way. The young mother who passed by took Lu Fan as a counterexample to educate the little child. And the little child immediately cried, Mom, I'll get full marks next time. Lu Fan turned around, raised his head and retorted, this lady, picking up garbage does not mean that she is not promising, nor does it mean that she is lazy and delicious. We all live diligently through normal means. Please respect us. As soon as this was said, several scavengers around clapped their hands and said, why do you look down on us? We didn't break the law again. Who did we provoke? Brother, we support you. Lu Fan did not expect that his random words would arouse such a big reaction. The young mother was not afraid of the criticisms of these scavengers. She sneered and said, why? You have the ability to buy a house and a car. One by one, you are poorer than the other. Come on, tell me, where are your prospects? This word simply poke in the people's weakness. People immediately shut up. Wife, son, come on up. A Mercedes-Benz came slowly, and the window rolled down, revealing a middle-aged man with gold-rimmed glasses. Daddy. Little fart kid bumped into the car. Young mother looked at a group of scavengers with disdain, as if to say, can you afford it? All the people sighed at the shining logo, but Lu Fan didn't care. Mercedes-Benz? Is it amazing? But at this time, the mobile phone rings. Is home and real estate company sales Missy's phone? Hello, Missy, what's the matter? Mr. Lu, are you free now? There is a boss who also values the previous house and plans to buy it for 6 million yuan. Our manager plans to sell it to that boss. I have no choice but to remind you. Do you want to give up or? Lu Fan sneer, buy a suite and others and their own grab. Look at their balance. Has nearly 19 million, the old gas foot. I'll be there now. Lu Fan walked to his Ferrari, only to find a group of people around the car taking pictures and talking. Ferrari Lafeur, it's too high-end. It can be called Ferrari and Ferrari. Who has so much money? It can't be them. These two are well-dressed. Maybe they are some local tyrants in the city. Lu Fan doubts. Who are these two people? Pull aside the crowd and see. Standing there to take photos of Huang Mao and his girlfriend. The woman carrying LV, one hand on the door of Ferrari. Huang Mao is gracious for her photos. They don't explain much about the misunderstanding of the people around them. Excuse me, please. Lu Fan came forward and said faintly. Huang Mao didn't seem to hear it. He took photos with his mobile phone, just like a senior photographer. Hello, please step aside. Lu Fan raised his voice. Huang Mao finally heard it. He turned his head and saw it was Lu Fan. He was stunned and said, Brother, it's you. How can you figure it out? Huang Mao thought Lu Fan wanted a job. Lu Fan was stunned, then shook his head and said, You misunderstood me. I came to pick up the car. What, pick up the car? Oh, do you mean the yellow car next to you? There are plenty nearby. Just find another one. After Huang Mao said that, he took photos again. Unexpectedly, Lu Fan patted him on the shoulder again and said seriously, I'm talking about this car. Huang Mao looked in the direction of Lu Fan's finger and blinked. Next second, poof, Huang Mao burst into laughter. He covered his stomach and said with a smile, "Brother, are you poor and crazy? You're starting to talk nonsense. A garbage collector dares to say that this Ferrari is yours." The crowd around burst into laughter. It turned out to be a garbage collector. It's shameless to be so hypocritical and full of lies at such a young age. Ah, bah, if he is the owner of the car. The labor and capital is the billionaire Father Nyo Yun. Lee Sikong will cry when he hears about it. A garbage collector can drive a better car than him. Haha. After hearing this, Huang Mao's girlfriend looked even more contemptuous. She stroked the gorgeous car body with her hand and said haughtily, "I advise you to leave as soon as possible. Don't think you can talk nonsense if you just get my bag back." In the face of people's ridicule, especially the couple Huang Mao, Lu Fan gave a cold smile, took out a key from his pocket, gently pressed it, and immediately the Ferrari lights flashed, giving a beautiful voice response. "What?" The smile on Huang Mao's face suddenly froze. "You're kidding. How could this garbage collector have a car key?" All the people around lost their teeth and were silent. Lu Fan went straight through Huang Mao and came to his girlfriend. He said coldly, "Get out of the way." Woman, a face muddle force of appearance, foot a stagger, fall to the ground. Until Lu Fan drove away, everyone was relieved. Pinch me, am I dreaming? It's really special. Is it so profitable to pick up rubbish these days? It turns out that both of them are forced goods. They are really alike. Damn, shameless. That's it. They turned from surprise to blame Huang Mao and his girlfriend. Huang Mao and his girlfriend blushed like monkey butt and ran away. At the intersection of traffic lights, the Benz carrying the young mother just stopped. "Wife, who were you talking to just now? I don't think you look right." The man held the eyeglass frame and asked. The woman snorted. "It's okay, but a smelly beggar has to reason with me. Do you want me to respect when picking up garbage?" Haha. But at this time, a pure white sports car stopped beside Mercedes-Benz. Lu Fan half pulled down the window and felt the morning breeze. 1 second he was still picking up garbage, the next he drove a Ferrari. "Mom, it's the big brother who just picked up junk." The little boy, who was just crying, pointed to the most dazzling sports car on the roadside. "What nonsense," the young mother said angrily. Then she casually looked to the side, and the head exposed from the window was not the young man who had just picked up the garbage. "I'm so familiar. What? It's really him. Isn't he a garbage collector? How can he drive such a good car?" The young mother's mouth was wide open and confused. Her husband is also curious to see. Immediately took a breath. "I wipe, Ferrari Lafeur. The world only sells more than 400 sports cars. Linhai City, there are such rich." Hearing the words, the young mother's heart was shocked again. More than 20 million. That's a number she didn't dare to think of. "Husband, you are not joking." Her husband sighed. "Of course not. I'm afraid this young man is a young master of a certain family." The young mother looked at the man in Ferrari who was drinking a blue drink with a surprised face, and her heart was shocked beyond comparison. It turned out that she was really worthless. But at this time, their children yelled, "Mom, I also want to pick up garbage, drive a sports car." Lu Fan listened to the little boy's words with a smile in his mouth. Without looking back, when the green light came on, I was envious of all the drivers around me. Half an hour later, Lu Fan came to his home and the real estate company. The master of the parking place was also a discerning person. He went out in person and graciously designated a parking space for Lu Fan, which made Lu Fan very flattered. As a matter of fact, even the staff in the parking lot have to learn to see when they are seeking their jobs. The old man was dressed in a security uniform. When he saw a young man in plain clothes coming down from the car, he was slightly stunned. Suddenly, he naturally thought it was a rich second generation. "But what is the woven bag on the shoulder?" "Thank you, sir." Lu Fan nodded his head to thank him. He was a little strange. He looked at Lu Fan in a different way. He thought that this young man was different from the rich second generation he had met before. When Lu Fan came to the company, a woman in a professional dress, showing her exquisite figure, was already waiting. "Here you are, Mr. Lu." He Xiaojia immediately came up with an unnatural look. Lu Fan nodded and said, "Ms. He, what do you mean by what you said on the phone?" "I'm really sorry. Mr. Lu, the house you're looking forward to is 5 million, which can be handled the day after tomorrow. However, another person has also taken a fancy to the house and offered 6 million. Manager Wu directly told me that the house has been settled. Mr. Liu, after all, I'm just a new intern, and I can't help it. I'm sorry, Mr. Liu, for delaying your wedding. Xiaojia's eyes are red. In fact, this is the first time that she has received a client, which is still as large as 5 million. She felt very sorry to Lu Fan for breaking her promise. Lu Fan eyes ponder. Light said, "Is not the bid high? That person is still here?" Xiaojia thought Lu Fan would be very disappointed or scold himself. Hearing Lu Fan's question, he was shocked and said, "Well, it's still in Manager Wu's office. Take me to see him." Lu Fan said coldly. Xiaojia blinked. She didn't know what Lu Fan was going to do, but she said, "Okay, please follow me." Lu Fan follows Xiaojia, and his eyes inevitably sweep to the other party's proud figure. His heart beats faster, and he quickly moves away. Mr. Liu, the one in front, is Manager Wu, and the middle-aged woman next to him is Wang Baifeng. She is the one who likes your house. Xiaojia stops and points to the VIP reception area in the distance. Lu Fan naturally saw it and said, "Okay, take me there." Xiaojia hesitated and said, "Mr. Liu, although I know I shouldn't say that, I still want to remind you that the woman is not easy to provoke, where you can see how other houses are, and there are many good houses with the same price." But Lu Fan shook his head. "No, you don't understand. Being treated unfairly, either tolerating or resisting, that's all. This house is actually the one by Xiaoxin and Lu Fan used to like. But the down payment of 1.5 million makes him feel desperate." In Lu Fan's opinion, buying a house has nothing to do with the marriage house. Just because he likes it, and come first and come later, he holds the word of reason, so he has to fight. He went straight to the VIP area. "Mrs. Wang, the 2 contracts have been signed. If there is no problem, they can be delivered tomorrow." Wu Gang laughs at the lady in front of him. Although he is bloated and disgusting, who makes the relationship hard? Wang Baifeng nodded with satisfaction and said, "Manager Wu, Mrs. You said that you are smart, and it seems to be true. I'm very satisfied, but I heard that this house was liked by people before. Don't let me take it back at that time. That person will come to me again." What Mrs. Wang said, such a thing will never happen. Wu Gang is sure. But at this time, a voice interrupted their conversation. "Manager Wu, isn't he?" Lu Fan looked at the middle-aged man in front of him and said. Wu Gang looked up and frowned. "Who are you and who let you in?" Lu Fan sat down and looked at the woman beside him. He said in a flat tone, "Is this the man who robbed my house with $6 million? Wang Baifeng and Wu Gang were both surprised and randomly understood who Lu Fan was. "It's you. Your name is Lu Fan, isn't it? Coincidentally, I'm also looking for you. The house you like has been bought by Ms. Wang Baifeng. I suggest you have a look at other houses." Wang Baifeng looks at Lu Fan with strange eyes. "Manager Wu, I remember that it was clearly I who took a fancy to it first and offered to buy it. Now your company has turned back and sold it to someone else. Isn't that a proper way to do it?" Lu Fan is good at making up his time and says that he is very leisurely. "The tunnel? Sir, if you have the ability, take the money to tell us the truth. Mrs. Wang offered 6 million yuan. Can you afford more? Besides, now that the contract has been signed, nothing can help you." Wu Gang said with a sneer that he had made a detailed investigation on this matter in advance. Lu Fan is a poor man. How can he buy a house when he comes from a rural area? The down payment may not come out. It's better to find someone who can buy a house directly. At this time, Wang Baifeng suddenly added, "You are Lu Fan. Do you know by Xiaoxin?" Lu Fan was going to give Wu Gang a good look. When he heard Wang Baifeng's words, he was stunned. "How do you know who you are?" But Wang Baifeng sneered, looked at Lu Fan with scornful eyes, and said, "It's really you. A poor boy who can't even take out 300,000. No wonder she will dump you. To tell you the truth, Bai Xiaoxin has already been married to my son. This house is my son's wedding house. And where do you have the ability to take out 5 million? After that, he said to Wu Gang, "Manager Wu, you are a company where all kinds of cats and dogs can come in. I'm sorry, Mrs. Wang. I'll let him go right away." Wu Gang, a face cruel color of say, "Please, Mr. Liu." Wu Gang held his head high and sneered. However, Lu Fan suddenly laughed, but his eyes were cold, which made Wu Gang tremble. Wu Gang felt insulted and asked, "What are you laughing at?" Lu Fan shook his head and said, "It's nothing. I just didn't expect that there would be 2. Vicious dogs biting people in such a big company. I think it's funny. Who do you think is a bad dog? Wu Gang and Wang Baifeng face a change. They did not expect Lu Fan not only did not retreat, but also in turn provocative. This makes them feel superior and unbearable. You are poor. You have no money. No house. No car. You can't afford a wife. You dare to scold me. What are you? Wang Baifeng stood up and slapped Lu Fan. Lu Fan stretched out his right hand and immediately grasped Wang Baifeng's wrist. With a flick, Wang Baifeng couldn't control it and fell back to her seat. Seeing this, Wu Gang shouts to He Xiaojie in the distance. Call the security guard quickly. He Xiaojie hesitated. She didn't expect that Lu Fan would dare to do it. But in this matter, she had a bad conscience. So she was in a dilemma. Lu Fan took a look at He Xiaojie and then looked at Wu Gang. He sneered at Wu Gang and said, "What's $6 million for money? I really don't think I can afford it." He took the diamond card out of his arms and slapped it on the table. "We just want to scold He Xiaojie." Corner of the eye Yu Guang Piao to the card on the table. Immediately can't move eyes. This is a diamond card from a certain bank. Wang Baifeng also recognized it. Suddenly confused, she clearly remembered that her mother-in-law made it clear that Lu Fan was a poor man. "No, this card must be fake. You are such a mean person. You dare to fool us with a fake card. It's shameless." Wang Baifeng's voice sounds like a duck's. "Shut your mouth," Lu Fan said angrily. "This is a shrew." Lu Fan cold voice to Wu Gang Wei. "Since she gives 6 million, that I give 8 million. How? 8 million? Wu Gang murmured. He looked at the card carefully, confirmed that it was true, and immediately moved his mind. Wang Baifeng noticed the change in Wu Gang's eyes and screamed, "Manager Wu, we have signed a contract. And don't forget whose company this company belongs to. I just need to talk to Mrs. Yu. And your position can be maintained?" Wu Gang smells speech. Immediately scared to give up the idea. Hurriedly will bank card back to Lu Fan. This time Wu Gang's attitude changed 180 degrees. "Mr. Lu, I'm so sorry. The company has signed a contract with Mrs. Wang. I really can't help it. I'm really sorry." Lu Fan took a deep breath, stood up and said, "It seems that this time it's not about money. It's really hard to have a relationship." Wang Baifeng saw that Lu Fan was flat and immediately said with pride, "Poor. Rich people's world is not as simple as you think. Do you think you can fight me with a few coins? Get out of here. Don't be a disgrace here." But at this time, a thick and magnetic voice came. "Who provoked Mrs. Wang?"